Hey there everybody, Scott from Scott's Moto Adventures, and tonight I want to talk about something that I find really important, and that is technology and comms and stuff like that, because Sena has announced a bunch of new products, and it is something that I find really near and dear to my heart. I always respected Sena. I'm not paid by them. I've always been interested in them. I own a Cardo Spirit HD. I own a Sena 50S, and I put a Sena ST1 on my wife's. My old Sena ST1 is now on my wife's helmet. So I do want to talk about this because it came out of nowhere, and I really want to know what the heck happened. And let's go to, so back in November of 2025, there was EICMA. And EICMA is a European show, and Sena's an American company. It's out of they're out of Texas, but they decided to have a booth out there, and that's where they announced a bunch of products. So first off, let's start with the VORTEX. I gotta say, all of these products are a game changer too, compared to what they used to be, and I'm really impressed with what they did. But again, Sena really dropped the ball. I didn't find out about this because of AIM Expo in 2026 here in January. So the entry level, this is your SM, or I keep calling it the SMH. It's actually like the 5S, the 10S. It's a smaller profile, but you now have what they call the VORTEX series, which is your entry level. And it's pretty good. And you have the Hi-Fi, and then you have the regular VORTEX. And the VORTEX Essential is like two-way intercom, wireless charging, decent, okay speakers, one button pairing for Bluetooth, which I guess that's okay. It has an FM radio built in. It turns off and on, and then you can upgrade wirelessly. A lot of those features are not Sena features. Those are Cardo features that Sena is finally getting to. And then it's waterproof, which I can say the Spirit HD does not have that. And then there's one for the Hi-Fi, which has the same speakers. They make it seem like you can connect your phone to it for GPS and phone calls. So I don't know if the Essential does that. The Essential might just be a, hey, you're a two-way intercom and you have FM radio. This is like, hey, you can connect your phone and you get all the other features. So, I mean, that's not a bad little, I don't mind having like a single Bluetooth device for an entry level, because you'd be getting riding, you don't know who to ride with, stuff like that. The next one I don't like, and that's the Apex series. And the Apex series, I absolutely do not like, because the Apex series is going up against the FreeCom, and I hate the Cardo FreeCom. To me, it's like the appendix of the comm world. Like, to me, it is, you start with the Bluetooth as an entry level, then you go up to mesh, a lower level mesh. But no, they still have the FreeCom at Cardo, and I think it still sells pretty well. So what they got going on here is they have the Apex from Sena, which is a direct competitor. It's Bluetooth. There's a Bluetooth connection. There's no mesh. It looks good. Like, all of them look cool and futuristic, and that's great. You have the Apex and the Apex Plus. Okay, so first the Apex, you get a thumb wheel, you get wireless charging. There's something about a dual charger, I don't know what that is. You can change the batteries, that's actually kind of nice. It's the only one that you can do that on. You have the magnetic mount, which is something that Cardo's offer on the higher end stuff. You have waterproofing, which is a Cardo thing. Voice command, which is built in, which, to be honest, I don't know if my ST1 has that. And then you can do over-the-air updates. There's also integrated FM radio. Okay. You also have, now here's the difference. The Apex, you can connect to one other, maybe two other. You can connect to other Bluetooths, just one or two. The Apex Plus, you can connect to 4. You're supposed to hit one button and it goes out, and that's cool and all, but to me, it just doesn't work. Like, I'm sorry, it's not mesh. Stop trying to make it seem like mesh. It's not mid-grade, it's rip-off. And I think the Freecom's a rip-off. That's my personal opinion. It is not, I do not like those. They seem like the appendix of the comm world, the vestigial limb or tail or whatever. In 2026, we should really be focusing more on mesh and less on Bluetooth. Bluetooth works, but not like mesh does. Mesh works so much better. Speaking of mesh, I have the Spider ST1, which is a great product, but they have revamped. They have, and this is what is it? Imitation is the most sincerest form of flattery. The Sena Spider X Slim, which is kind of like the Pack Talk Bold Slim from like 5 years ago. And Pack Talk Bold wasn't okay, now it's not, but looks really similar. It's very slim, mesh intercom only. With the Spiders, you only have mesh intercom, but you can still hook up to your phone. There is some AI noise cancellation. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. You have voice commands, which I don't think my Spider does. You have some on-off, like you put it on the right, you take the helmet off, it knows that it's off, so you won't be draining the battery for 3 days. You have FM radio, interchangeable faceplate. You have FM radio, interchangeable faceplates, a magnetic mount, and waterproofing. You also get over-the-air updates, which again, I'm glad Sena finally did that. Okay, so the Spider Slim, I am a fan of. It is a good, solid product. To me, it's, that's probably your best mid-grade option. Now we're gonna go to the big show. Now we're gonna go to the big daddy, and that is the 60X. And the 60X has dethroned the 60S. And when I look at the 60S, I look at it and I go, was that originally supposed to be a camera? Because the way it's shaped, it looks kind of like the 50C. This has a totally different look. Again, it has that alien, stealthy, very slim look. And you change that look, you can change the whole faceplate. I mean, good for them, but I really could care less. This is a little bit different than the Sena 60S. You have more features. So if you take a look here, let's see if there's a better picture of the front here. Yeah, here we go. So at the very front here, you can make these programmable. Somewhere in here, there's a button where if you hit that button, you can tell your system, hey, I want people to be allowed onto the Mesh 3.0 network. And the Wave app, which is really important. And so you have the Mesh Intercom 3.0 Bluetooth, and you can do both. Let's say you have a Cardo buddy, you Bluetooth them into the network, and then they get to hear the Mesh Intercom on the Sena side. Intelligence and convenience, again, wireless charging, on and off power management. User experience, you got some joysticks, wave buttons, stuff like that. I talked about that. Again, waterproof. Finally, you got more AI cancellation things you can do. Something else I was watching the video. They have switched from, I think it was Harman Kardon or JBL, which I thought were the same company. They have now gone into Bose for the speakers for the 60X. I don't know if if they didn't like it that their competitor had the same exact speakers. I don't know if Bose came in and say, hey, we'll offer you something better. Don't know. But for a while there, both of them were doing a great job of using the same vendor. That salesman probably got a nice bonus. But anyway, that's kind of the lineup. Again, I'm not happy that Sena did a really poor job of telling us, the consumer, that some new stuff was coming out, but I understand why. If you took advantage of that 25% sale in November into December, good for you. I did. And there might be a video out about the Sena Mesh Plus and how it works with Cardo. But anyway, this is the kind of thing I like. I'm not bought and paid by anybody. I'm not sponsored by anybody. And I just like to talk about technology on the technology side of motorcycling. And I have always been a fan of Sena from the SMH10. I thought that was like a game changer. It is awesome to see how far both companies have come. I'm grateful for both companies because if you don't have Cardo pushing Sena, Sena's not going to get better. Okay, you're going to end up like GoPro, and because GoPro has competitors now, and they're kind of just hanging out there, not doing anything. So I'm happy that Sena is actually trying. I'm happy that they actually showed off some new stuff. I have no release dates. I have no prices, but I'm hoping something happens in 2026 where we get them in the spring. I'm hoping come February, March, after the return window is closed, after the holidays, that they can actually come out and say, hey, here's some new stuff. Some of it looks interesting. I really like the VORTEX. I really like the Spider X Slim, and the 60X is kind of neat, but I'm not going to buy that. But it's a very nice device. I feel bad for anybody who bought the 60S, thinking that was going to be the top of the line for a while. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but when I was looking at it, I was like, that looks like a 50C that they put a flashlight in. But these new stuff, I mean, they look thinner, they look cooler, they look more hip. Well, not hip. They look more futuristic. So it is a good step in the right direction. I'm hoping to see something. I'm not going to buy anything. I'm kind of done buying stuff. I've been getting a little burned out of buying stuff. If anything, I'm going to buy camping gear, but even then, I don't want to do that. So if you do like this kind of content, if you do want me to continue to do this content, like, subscribe, comment. I answer pretty much all my comments unless it's something stupid, and then I just ignore you. But for the most part, I will write. We'll have a nice conversation in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys later.